What's going on? Zach Adelson here with Daily Edge Sports, bringing you another college football video. Today, going to be going over some prize picks. Going to go over this morning slate on Saturday morning. Didn't get to do any videos for the weekday slate's been out of town for the past couple days, but wanted to make sure to get some stuff up earlier for the weekend. But yeah, this is one of the days of college football that everybody kind of looks for. If you just kind of go down the slate, look at some of these lines. We have Oregon, Penn State. We have Alabama, Georgia. Um, that is not one of them. We have, if you're just looking through here, we have, just looking through some of these aren't the best games, but we have Ohio State traveling to Washington, LSU, and Ole Miss. Some really big games that will be important later in the season for some of these playoff bids, some of these teams' playoff chances, and just one of those that you sit down on. You want to make sure you have everything done when games start. Watch them from start to finish. That being said, if you have something to do on Saturday, you really need to get it done. This first slate of games is probably the time you want to get it done. Not the best slate, especially with everything else going on for the day, but there are some fun games. This Louisville Pitt game should be interesting. USC traveling to Illinois will be really interesting with an early kickoff time for a USC team that has some big aspirations with what they've been doing. Um, this Duke Syracuse game should put up a lot of yards, if nothing else. Both of those teams have been putting up some yards and doing some things on offense. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some of these plays. Before we get started, if you're not at Daily Edge Sports, get over there. We've been hitting slips every week. Last week hit another video slip. In Discord, we've been constantly hitting slips. CashKeg has been, going hard on NFL, doing really well there. WNBA playoffs are wrapping up, and we're about to start NBA season soon. So another reason just to get over and get into Daily Edge Sports. Get all the tools. You can make your own slips there, and just have a lot of new stuff going on there. So look forward to seeing you over there. All right, let's get into this Saturday morning slate. A lot of quarterbacks that I kind of like here. I don't love a ton right now. Hoping for some things to drop tomorrow morning, tomorrow during the day on Friday. As far as receptions go, as well as fantasy points, things like that, some attempts. But I want to start off with actually USC's old quarterback here. We're going to go over to Miller Moss. Miller Moss is sitting at 279.5. They've played 3 games this year. You can see kind of what he did in the previous 2. Went off against Bowling Green. Louisville hasn't played anyone this year. They just haven't. I mean, they've played Eastern Kentucky. James Madison's decent for what they are. They're a group of 5 team. They're a good group of 5 team, but not on par. And then Bowling Green is Bowling Green. It's a MAC school. So they haven't played anyone yet. They are going up here against Pitt at home. Or excuse me, they're traveling to Pitt. They're 4.5 point favorites. 57.5 point total here. But this number is huge. This number is a really big number for Miller Moss, and they just haven't done it yet. So their first game on the road, their first Power Four game, obviously their first conference game. Um, and Louisville also plays pretty slow. They're 98th in the country in pace of play. They don't get as many plays off. They take their time on offense. And yeah, if you go over and look at Pitt, they haven't allowed more than 260 passing yards in a game this year. Um, I do think Moss is going to have a good game. I think this whole Louisville team is going to have a good game. I just think this number is way too high. So looking here, Miller Moss going to take the under. Moving on, another game, obviously in the morning. We're going to go over to that Minnesota Rutgers game. Looking at Drake Lindsay. Now, Minnesota is a team that likes to run the ball. Obviously, they always have. Kind of look at the game log again. They've played 3 games. They've been off for a week. Their star running back has been injured. Darius Taylor hasn't played much since that game against Northwestern State. Just started there. Didn't play against Cal. Has had another week off. He was questionable until late in the week against Cal. I think with that week off that he is going to give it a go here. The reports are he's going to give it a go. He could be out, which would alter this a little bit. If he goes, there's no way. I think this number drops immensely, and I want to get ahead of that. So I'm going to go under 220. There's other reasons as well. You can look at this number against Cal, threw for 205. This is their first Big Ten game. Big Ten games go slow. They're slow plotting games. They run the ball. They don't run a lot of plays. These 2 teams, Minnesota's 109th in pace of play, and Rutgers is 107th in pace of play. They do not run a lot of plays. This is always going to be Minnesota's always going to be a run first team. They're going to run to set up the pass. That's what PJ Fleck does. It's what this team always does. And this just isn't this isn't a team that throws for a lot, of passes. They don't throw for a lot of yards. And if their star running back is back, they're going to ride him. Um, he's a guy that will get a ton of carries. He will get, 25, 30 carries different weeks. So going back here, looking at this, I'm going to go under 220.5 for Drake Lindsey. Moving on, another game that I think we'll have some fireworks. We're going here. Duke at Syracuse. Syracuse is down. We had some play on Stephen Jelly last week on his pass attempts. Actually got hurt in the third quarter with 31 pass attempts. Didn't look like a pretty injury though. We never cheer for or against injuries. We don't want them ever. So even though it hurt us, it's awful what happened. Not great. And he is a fun player to watch. So we hope that he gets better. Hope that he gets back. Going over here to Darian Minsa though. Looking at Mensa, this Duke team, he throws the ball a ton. They brought him in to throw the ball. They lost these two games. They lost to Tulane, lost to Illinois. He threw the ball a ton. They did win this game. They were up pretty well on NC State. Went back and forth a little bit, but didn't need it towards the end of the game. They started running the ball and obviously went off against Elon, which we're not even going to talk about. But 3 or 4 games this year, he's got over 300 yards. He's averaging over 325 yards a game. He gets a close-ish game here. They are road favorites at Syracuse, and there's a 60-point total here. Syracuse is 123rd in the country in passing yards allowed at about 294 per game. They allow a lot of passing yards. Even at home, they allow a lot of passing yards. A couple weeks ago, they gave up 280 yards to Colgate, FCS team, not great. So this just isn't a good pass defense. It's not. And Mensa can air it out. This Duke team can air it out. They have some really good deep receivers. And I think Mensa's going to have to keep playing. As a road favorite, Syracuse can't stay in the game. They showed last week with their win over Clemson that they can play, and they can play teams tough. So this is another spot where, just like this over, I think Mensa's going to have another good game, get close to 300, if not go over 300 yards. Go in there. Last play, another quarterback play. Again, I don't love this slate too much. Going kind of with a safe one. Haynes King right here, rushing, receiving touchdowns. He's only played 3 games this season. Took the second week off, which was an FCS game. He was hurt. I think it was a rest week for him. Has 5 touchdowns through 3 games. Rushing touchdown each week, including Clemson, Colorado. He has 49 carries on the year, tied for most on the team, and he's played 1 less game. So he's going to get those carries. He's going to get goal line carries. They love to bootleg him out and around the goal line. They'll sneak him at the goal line. They don't care. They just let him carry the ball, which might not be sustainable. But this is a game that some people have been kind of iffy about. People are waiting for the other shoe to drop with Georgia Tech. They are 2 touchdown favorites on the road at Wake Forest with kind of a low total. Expected to score 33 points. He's going to be their league running back basically. He's going to be their ball carrier, especially in situations where they need to score. So I'm going back over everything. We have Miller Moss under 279.5 passing yards. We have Drake Lindsey under 220.5 passing yards. We have Mensa over 280.5 passing yards, and we have Haynes King with a rushing touchdown. Gives us a 8x play right there if you're looking at it. And going to be back with a few more videos for Saturday. And hope y'all are having a good week, and we'll catch up with you soon. Peace.